So as we all know, there are only a few days left till Aventurine comes out, and it seems like there's a whole load of people who can't wait to pull for him. In my guide video, which check it out if you haven't seen it, I talked about him being the best sustain unit so far. Today I want to discuss that further. We will be rating all sustain units and discussing which ones you should pull for. I'll give everyone a small kit recap and of course a rating. By the way, all 4 stars are indeed at E6 S5, 5 stars are at E0, because nobody's pulling an LC for a sustain character, let's be real. Before we begin, you should hit that subscribe button because none of you are subscribed. Oh, and don't forget to join the Express Train Discord server because we've got a giveaway going on there. So, let's begin. So first things first, let's start with the sustain units almost everyone has. Bailu, Lynx, Natasha, Fire MC, Japard, and March 7th. Out of all of these, I unironically believe Bailu is the worst healer. You can tell me she heals like crazy however much you want, but a well-built Natasha and Lynx can heal enough and they can cleanse, imagine that. No matter how much your Bailu heals, in my opinion, not having cleanse or much effectress in her kit definitely tanks her score by a load. Simply being a healer is definitely not enough. I say that, sure, but her healing is definitely pretty good. It's the worst out of the 5 stars, but it's still very good. She's got hella healing, but 0 cleanse and almost no effectress, so I'm giving her a 5 out of 10. I guess some redeeming factor about her is that she has good heals, so going for effectress instead of HP on your relics wouldn't be too bad. By the way, disagree with the rating all you want in the comments, I love me some juicy algorithm boosts. Lynx and Natasha will get a score of 7 out of 10 and 5.5 out of 10 respectively. Natasha is a simple yet very effective character. She can heal a fair amount, not too much but enough, and she does indeed have cleanse. She doesn't have much effectress in her kit, which is why she's only a 5.5 out of 10. Using her in some situations will be more effective than Bailu. Lynx does heal more than Natasha, and she does have a cool little effect in her kit that allows preservation and destruction characters to be attacked more when she heals them. She also has 35% CC effectress in her traces, and she gains a further 30% effectress at E6. She heals a good amount, grants 25% effectress to allies, and her ult cleanses. Wow. Lynx is definitely the best out of these. She's insane for a 4 star. I would definitely use her over anyone else here, so build her if you haven't already. March 7th gets a 4 out of 10 in meta, but an 11 out of 10 in my heart. March does indeed have cleanse in her kit, and she can freeze, but since she can only apply shields to 1 character per skill point, she's just sadly not worth it. 5 star March 7th better be like the best character in the game or I'm flipping shit. You're much better off using other sustains, sadly. Japard gets a 5 out of 10. You may be surprised since I gave him an S in my tier list, but Aventurine totally power creeps him. Japard is still pretty good, but he's just not good enough anymore. He is good as a shielder in the sim uni, but again, Aventurine does clear him in any scenario. Trailblazer would have gotten a 5 out of 10 if it wasn't for Acheron. Now with Acheron, I'd say Trailblazer easily gets a 7 out of 10 for being one of the best sustain options for one of the strongest characters in the game. If you don't have free Xuan and won't get Aventurine, which is stupid by the way, then Fire MC is definitely your best option for Acheron, and especially with the trend of the Universal Market LC. So that covers the base sustain units, let's get on to the rest. Let's start with Gallagher. So everyone's saying this guy power creeps Luocha. I do actually believe that he is the best 4-star healer, since he does everything from debuffing to cleansing and giving effectress, but he just isn't better than Luocha. Gallagher is very good and does some decent break damage. He heals a really good amount and as I said has debuffs, buffs, and cleanse. I would easily give him an 8 out of 10. The reason I think Luocha is higher is because Luocha doesn't need skill points to heal. He can also use his technique to apply his healing field. He can heal an insane amount and cleanse without skill points from his talent proc, while Gallagher needs skill points to cleanse. Luocha's ult also removes buffs from enemies. While that seems a bit niche and not that useful, it is way more useful than you think. The best application for this, well again, niche, is removing the revival from the Mara-struck soldiers, which also removes the big guy's ability to heal. Actually, now that I think about it, that's one of the most common enemies in the MOC. Luocha gets an 8.5 out of 10. These two are very similar though, so if you don't have Luocha, I wouldn't pull for him specifically, I'd use Gallagher. Especially because the only real Eidolons you need for him are E1 and E2. Woah is probably the best abundance unit in the game. She's got insane AoE heals, AoE cleanse, some buffs in her kit, and energy regeneration as well. Until someone better comes along, Woah clears all other abundance units. I still like Luocha's healing without skill points though. Still, Woah easily gets a 9 out of 10. If she had a skill pointless talent proc like Luocha, she would have easily gotten a 10 out of 10. She'd have been the perfect abundance unit. If you have neither, I'd pull for Woah over Luocha. Alright, And last but not least, we have the two sustain gods, Xuan and Aventurine. These two are insane. If you don't know what Aventurine's kit is, go check out my guide video. But a quick summary is this: infinite shields, follow-up attack teams go hard, and crit damage buffs. If you build enough defense on this man, he will do a good amount of damage as well as have 100% uptime on his shield. He is quite insane. I honestly don't have anything to nitpick about his kit. Keep his shield up and you just won't die. The preservation path and Simuni will go hard with this guy. For Xuan, there are a couple of things I do want to complain about. First off, without her light cone, you just don't get enough heals, and even with it, the heals are still scarce, and in harder levels of the simulated universe, she just gets one shot. She's better than Aventurine at skill point consumption, since she's 100% positive, while Aventurine entirely depends on how strong the enemy is. Xuan has a crit rate buff and Aventurine has a crit damage buff. They both have effect-res buffs in their kits. It honestly seems like a fair fight between these two. However, I will be rating Aventurine a 9.5 out of 10 and Xuan a 9 out of 10. Xuan's problem is the simulated universe and no healing. Or not enough healing, I should say. Aventurine's problem is only rarely skill point consumption. In the MOC, I don't see him struggling to keep his shield up via his talent only, while you will need to use the skill points in the simulated universe's higher levels. If you have neither, I would pull for Aventurine, honestly. So here's the list from worst to best. March 7th gets a 4 out of 10, which breaks my heart. Bailu gets a 5 out of 10 for lack of effect res and cleanse. Jopard gets a 5 because Aventurine power corrupt him. He gets a 6 if you don't have Aventurine. Natasha gets a 5.5 for okay healing and having cleanse but no effect res. Lynx gets a 7 for having everything but not having the best heals. Gallagher gets an 8 for being only slightly worse than Luocha. Luocha gets 8.5 for being very versatile and using no skill points to heal or cleanse. Wowo gets 9 for being the near perfect abundance unit. Xuan gets 9, only losing 1 because she can't heal other characters in long battles and because later Simuni stages corrupt. Aventurine gets a 9.5 for nearly being the perfect preservation unit. And that's it. If you've got any gripes, definitely comment down below, and if I made any mistakes, please do correct me. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Since you've reached the end of the video, you should definitely subscribe and hit the bell. Like, comment, just like I said in the intro. Don't forget to join the Express Train Discord server for everything HSR related, and a small little giveaway here and then. And also having a cool place to hang out, you know, that's the most important bit. So, thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.